Hello, this is Dr. K, and right now I want to start to share with you how you can start to work with your central nervous system. And what we first must know is that you have 12 cranial nerves, right? They exit the bottom of your skull through these little holes called foramen. And each of these little nerves actually will come out and they'll innervate and connect to your nose. That's cranial nerve 1. Cranial nerve 2, 3, and 4 are the eyes. 5 and 7 are like face and sensory and motion. Your tongue is cranial nerve 9. The ability to stick your tongue out at your friend, is cranial nerve 9. The ability to swallow is cranial nerve 10. So we must know that there's 12 cranial nerves. Each one of them has a different function. What we're going to be focusing today on is our parasympathetic nerve function, which is cranial nerve number 10. That's the primary parasympathetic nerve of the body. And this is important to you because this will allow you to help you get more centered and connected into yourself. And that will allow you to hear and be in more connection with your intuition and your heart once we start to show you some of the other things that you can then do once you're in this state. So let's begin here. Cranial nerve 10 is called the vagus nerve, and it's called the great wanderer because it connects to your heart, your lungs, your diaphragm, your digestion, your nasal pharynx, like all of these parts. And it's the primary function of your enteric nervous system that runs from your tip of your tongue all the way to the anus, through the stomach, through the digestive of the large intestine and small intestine, and out the body it goes. It's one part of the nervous system, the enteric nervous system. That's why people that have so much imbalance in this nerve function causes this issue of digestion, or they can have issues like, you just get heartburn and indigestion. Well, a lot of times that diaphragm, right, which here's your tongue and mouth, then your esophagus and your stomach, which is a little ball of acid where, your food goes so it gets dissolved properly and keeps your immune system strong when it does such. And a lot of times the diaphragm, which allows you to take a deep breath when you're first born on the planet, right? And when you die, your lungs de-innervate, right? The oxygen moves out of your lungs because there's nothing there to keep the body functioning, and the breath falls out, right? And leaves your body for the last time ever in this life. And so when that nerve can get impinged, have neuropraxia, which is a chemical inflammation, or mechanical stress, like a torquing of the fascia that lines the omentum of your intestines, it can cause this irritation of the nerve, and it can make you feel, oh man, I've got like a heart attack going on, I've got indigestion, I've got reflux, I feel, and doctors just throw, typically, not all, thank goodness, but they typically throw, pink and purple and blue pills. Certainly they're not going to give you the red pill, but they're going to throw a lot of pills at you, and what ends up happening is you don't fix the problem. Now you're actually really messing up your body because you're taking in some crazy drug that we don't even know what it does yet, and all of the drug stuff aside, there's a way to fix it at its core, and that's what we want to do. That's what you care about, is you're like, fix me, doctor, just tell me what to do to fix it. So one of the important things is to understand that this work that we're going to do, and I'm going to look at some notes here because this is going to be important because I don't want to miss anything, but the symptoms of this imbalance, again, is digestion, and I can't sleep, and I have no sex drive, or I can't reach climax during sex, or my hair is falling out, I'm anxious, and all these things. So what we're going to do now is talk about how to actually go about it. So number uno, right, is to actually do this when I meditate. And again, I'm going to look at notes, so just bear with me as I look off. But I don't want to miss anything because this is so important, this is so vital, this is so powerful. I've used this on tens of thousands of patients. Other neuro doctors out there are using this, and this is something that everyone needs to know because it's so silly and simple, and because that cranial nerve 9 and 10, particularly tongue, right, 9, glossopharyngeal, and 10, the vagus, innervates a lot of this, mouth and tongue and swallowing and digestion. We're going to use a lot of those. One of the things I want to mention also is that your primary parasympathetic fuse box of your body is housed in your cervical spine, in your neck, and in your sacrum, below your lumbars, down right at the very, very base of the spine, right? The tip of the coccyx, then you've got the sacrum. Well, what I want you to do is actually gently just kind of tap over these areas. You can tap using your fist in the back of the neck, just gently. Or if you have one of these massage guns that, because of China, we have gotten so many different versions of this massage gun. I'm not going to say the name because you just type this in online. It's called a deep release massage gun or a massage gun. You'll see something that looks like this, and there's 400 million types to look at. I don't want to give you the name because I'm not associated with anything. I'm not trying to sell you anything here. So you're going to go on, you're going to turn this thing on, and you could actually use this just gently, right? Be smart about it, but you could gently use it over your neck, right? You could on both sides. Whatever setting feels good, you can gently use it over the sacrum back there. And if you notice, as we do this, you can see here that it causes this bouncing motion, right? This is proprioception. You're putting a tremendous amount of afferentation or information into the brain. And so when you do that, you're really stimulating that fuse box that we call the parasympathetic nervous system. So that's really one, and that's important, right? So number two is to really realize that a lot of our issue is coming from our diaphragm, like I mentioned, where it's really tight, where we're not breathing a lot. You hear about neck breathers and they're breathing up here and they're stressed out of their mind. Well, the reason is because our primary breath muscle is down in our diaphragm, right below our ribs, lines the whole area. So what do we want to do? We can also use this device and we can stimulate around the base of the ribs on either side, just gently. I'm going to leave it to your own intuition here to guide you. But you gently stimulate to allow that muscle to relax and to release. The other thing that you can do is take this device or something like it, or just take your fingers like this and, 2 fingers or like this, and you're going to tap over your umbilicus. Now, your umbilicus is your belly button. And so you're going to tap over that. There's a group of medical doctors that created a whole technique, and it's kind of a ridiculous thing because it's kind of like a metal T-bar, and you kind of do this into your belly button. It looks ridiculous, but the science of it is very, very, founded. That's why a group of medical doctors are doing that. And it's why people are willing to look silly and stupid to do that. But you don't need to do that. Use something like this. I think it's better. And you can just tap over that belly button just like this, just right in the center of it, just get in there and boom, 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 just stimulating. This upregulates your vagus and upregulates your parasympathetic nervous system and downregulates the sympathetic atonia, my mind is going, and it allows you to rest and digest. I can feel easy breezy and I can relax a little bit during this time that we're in our homes, versus feeling stressed all the time. So that's one. Number two, gagging, gargling, swallowing, sucking on the tongue, tickling the roof of your mouth with your tongue. These are cranial nerve 9, cranial nerve 10 motions of your nervous system. If you didn't have cranial nerve 9, you'd die, first of all, but you wouldn't be able to move your tongue. You wouldn't be able to swallow. It's where people aspirate and choke on their food. And that's why we can help elderly people that aspirate and choke on their food so easily. So we want to tickle the roof of the mouth. We want to suck on our tongue like a baby would its thumb. You can even do that, thumb sucking. You can swallow. You can gag. You can gargle. And I literally gargle, take some water, drink the water, gargle, 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 and then just swallow it. And then maybe have another big swallow. And what you're doing is you're hand selecting things from your nervous system that are only parasympathetic as much as you can possibly do so. And this really makes your nervous system calm down. Another thing that I have patients do, or clients when I'm working with them on the phone or in person, is they will have them curl their toes like this, just their toes like that. Don't cramp and cause your feet to go into spasm or anything, but curl the toes. That's your sacral nerve box, fuse box, right? Those what controls your toes is your sacral nerves. And again, we're firing the sacrum. So we're doing swallowing, tickling, those kinds of things, like I just stated. And then you curl your toes. And what I do is I do this before meditation. It's very powerful, where you take a deep breath in, and I do all of those things. But before I do, I start off with, I hold my breath in my chest, and I kind of bear down, because that stimulates also a barometric response receptor. It stimulates this cranial nerve 10. It'll help you feel relaxed. So what I do, making sure I don't miss any, very important, Kegels, or what's called anal wink. It sounds ridiculous, but again, your sacral nerve supply, right? It innervates and connects to your sex organs, your ovaries, your uterus, all your central and lower pelvis, right? The pelvic floor. So if we fire those muscles to hold and contract, which a Kegel is, right, between the vaginal canal or the scrotum of a man and to the anus, there is this area, right? You tighten this area, it's a Kegel, or you can actually tighten your anus, right? Because it is a sphincter, just like your eyes and your mouth. And so while it sounds totally ridiculous and totally silly, this is just basic neurology. So this is what it looks like, is I curl my toes, right? I take a deep breath in. I hold my breath hard in my chest. I tickle the roof of my mouth with my tongue. I suck on my tongue. I swallow. I hold a Kegel while I'm doing this, and then I'll even actually do anal winking, where you just kind of focus more on the anus. This makes the pelvis very strong, but this is called Neuro Stacking. And then I do this for just a few moments. I swallow, and I exit with a sigh, and let my whole body relax. This will drop your whole nervous system into a relaxed state. This is key. This is silly sounding, but it's crucial. And when you drop your body into this nervous system state where I tell you, the proof is in the pudding. When you try this on, you feel it in your own nervous system. You can do this while tapping on your belly button. Just do a combination of as many as you can remember, right? It will allow you to feel more centered, more calm, right? And this sets the stage to now work with the overstimulated nervous system. So we're doing the science and neurology in this renaissance where we're bringing the two worlds together. But now what we're going to start to actually talk about is, going into meditation, doing the inner work, why that's important. So I'm going to put that in the next subsequential video. And I hope this is helpful. And I really, really hope you try this on because, I talk a lot about the heart, the intuition, spirit and nature. I talk a lot about healing, but I talk about it from like it's combined. We have to combine these worlds. They're not separate. They're not separate entities. This is a thing. And so that's what I'm really into, because this, I believe, helps us really rapidly evolve, because we're now using all of the years of the Vedics sitting there meditating, right? And now actually combining with the science that what we really need, because the Vedics and the people sitting in the ashrams and all of this stuff for thousands of years, they didn't have the overwhelm that we have. The Buddhist monks you can see them, and if you go to Asia, a lot of them are on their phones and stuff. It's a weird kind of time in history. So I hope this is helpful. I'll see you in the next video, and this is Dr. K signing out.